Wow.
Yeah.
Was it this kind of? Is this rested or kicked out, Jules? The front page of L'Equipe, stay or leave. The front page of L'Equipe talking about Karim Benzema. There seems to be contrasting stories coming out as to why he left the camp.
Yeah, you're right. We're starting to know a bit more about the atmosphere around his withdrawal, really, of the squad and what happened before. I mean, until we hear properly from him and properly from Deschamps, I don't think we will know everything, maybe, unless, until they tell the truth. Because I think Deschamps and the staff felt that maybe Karim didn't say the whole truth about how he was feeling physically in the few days before the start of the tournament and before he got injured. Karim himself, I think, feels very much like he could have stayed, he should have stayed, because he could have got fit and the World Cup would still have happening. Deschamps clearly feel differently, so they were just not on the same page. And you can understand both frustrations in a way. Deschamps, if really felt like that about Karim before the injury, if Karim felt like that after the injury, feeling like I could have stayed and seen if I got fit for the last 16, maybe for the quarters. He felt that he would have been worth it from Deschamps to keep him just for that. Deschamps clearly felt like, why would you stay if you can't play for another 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks? Which is a valid point as well. I don't know how you deal with someone who's there but can't play, can't train, spend his day in the gym with the physio. I mean, I don't know if that can work or not. I'm not sure. So it was just... but for all the build-up that we gave it, remember at the time when he was called up and all of that, they'd been waiting so long to play again in the World Cup after 2014 and everything that happened in between in those 8 years. Finally, it was there. And for all this drama to happen and now even more drama, I just find it incredible. It just blows my mind that with Karim Benzema, things are just never straightforward.
Did Deschamps see him as a distraction, Jules? Was it just quite simply, here's a great excuse just to send him home?
I don't know if distraction is the right word. What could have maybe distracted the squad if he'd stayed, not being fit and still been around. I don't know if really that could be a distraction. I don't know how you deal with a player. I mean, Romelu Lukaku in Belgium is maybe the other example we can find here, but he was still fit enough to train after the second game, group game, and play in the third group match. Karim might not have been fit until the quarterfinals. That's a long time between the start of the World Cup and then the quarterfinals, the France-England game. That was 2.5 weeks. So I don't know who's right, who's wrong, what was the best decision, if that was the worst decision to send him home in the way it happened. I can understand Karim's frustration because, as we said, he waited for so long. You can also see Deschamps' point of view of like, well, why would we keep you if we're not even sure that you could be ready for the quarters? I don't know, but the fact that Deschamps didn't replace him in a way is weird. It's quite weird, I think, because there were other options that he could have called up. So, I don't know, there's still a lot of things that I don't think we know about for that incident.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, Jules, but he's just answered it because I couldn't remember off the top of my head if he replaced him.
No.
This is sending up smoke signals, for sure, because it's telling me that Deschamps in his mind wasn't 100% about the player. Because you look at any other country, take Argentina with Messi, take England with Kane, take Brazil with Neymar. They did give Neymar time. If Brazil had got to the semi-finals and he hadn't played, they would have kept him there. They wouldn't have sent Lionel Messi home. Southgate would not have sent Harry Kane home thinking, geez, if we get to the 16 and win and get to the quarters, maybe Harry will be fit, maybe Messi will be fit, maybe Neymar. You just keep him. Unless you think it's got negative connotations to your squad. So that's telling me he was... Otherwise, why don't you just leave him there and say, listen, work on your fitness, we'll see how it figures out and pans out. It's not hurting anybody to keep you here. I'm not replacing you. This just sounds a bit strange.
And it's full training with Real Madrid, played in a friendly, a few days ago. Was it just the fact that he thought it was detrimental?
100%.
To the squad?
No other reason to do it.
He's the Ballon d'Or winner, for crying out.
Yeah, there's no other reason to do it.
How would it be detrimental?
There must be a personality thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
And, maybe then you're going to have reporters talking about Benzema and then, hold on a minute, we've got a team in the World Cup here and everyone's how's Benzema every 2 days or every 3 days or whatever it is. So there's no question that Deschamps has decided regardless of whether he does get healthy, then I need to make a decision what's best for the team, for the squad. I'm not bringing anybody else in. I'm going to keep the group I've got together. We've got a good, you know, we're doing okay on the field, and we've got a good harmony between everybody here. So I'm not going to bring somebody else in, and I don't want somebody lingering about.
Right.
So you know what? This is the group. Everybody else, see you later. We're going to concentrate on doing what we're doing.
But he must have thought there must be a reason about him, for want of a better phrase, moping around. Because it's an easy answer to the press. Even if they ask you, you say, well, look, if they say, oh, Karim Benzema, I say, I've told you, he's probably not going to be fit until the quarters or the semis at best, and even then, it's probably going to be a place on the bench because he's not fit enough. But if he's available to go on the bench and we make it to the semi-finals and I need him for 20 minutes, then I'm going to use him. So why would you send him home unless you thought it was just going to affect everybody else?
Right. And the mere fact that you've got so many subs as well, it has to be something to do with personality.
Right.
Has to be.
Does it make sense, Jules, what they're saying?
Yeah, I think I agree, and I think this is also part of it, and that's maybe the one bit that we don't know about. From the guys that I know in that squad, no one ever said to me, Karim is a problem, he doesn't get on with people. I'm sure there's some in that squad who maybe didn't have like strong friendship with Karim, which I can understand. Like, the boys know better than me, but you've been in squads where not everybody is best friends, which is completely normal. I don't know, we've said it before in terms of leadership, if there was an issue there maybe between other leaders in that group. But again, I was not told that. I was not told that at the Euros, where Karim played well, even if France were knocked out by Switzerland on penalties in the last 16. But just quickly, if we go on that, he was called back for the Euros as the saviour almost. You know, after 5.5 years being dropped for the sex tape scandal, all of that, he's coming back. It's a big surprise. Nobody saw it coming. You know, we broke the news. I mean, there's just the tweet that we put out on him coming back that day, the day of the squad announcement, when just virally exploded. And yet, at the Euros, he was good, but the team wasn't. Then he comes back for this World Cup. He's still there for the World Cup after 8 years of waiting. And this is a car crash. It's an absolute disaster. You just think, like, this is an incredible time, really, for him, if you think. And in a way, it's a shame because the guy is so talented, but in another way, maybe that could have been all predicted as well.
It's definitely a personality thing, but I piggybacking on what you guys were talking about yesterday, I don't think it's the difference between where the World Cup is and it being in Paris. You know, I think ultimately France didn't play well enough. This is just an issue that's raised itself as another story out with the football and the bad performance, between a possible personality clash and, you know, why would you send him home? Why wouldn't you keep him? Why couldn't you use him at least for a little bit if he's fit? Sort of scenario. But I agree with what Stevie was saying yesterday. I don't think it would have been a matter of Benzema stays, France win the World Cup. I think it was always going to Argentina in the end.
Is that kind of the accepting factor for the fans as well, Jules, or was there frustration that Benzema wasn't there to come off the bench even and make an impact in that final?
Yeah, it's a bit mixed, I think, to be fair. I'm in the camp that think that a team with Benzema can only be better than a team without Benzema. I can understand the balance and the synergy and, you know, how players gel. But a talent like that, I just don't think you can do without if he's fully fit and ready to go. And I think there's a lot of people in France who share that view. There's others who think, like, look, they went all that far without him and without Pogba and without Conte and all the others missing. And we were like 5 centimeters away if Colomboigny's shot is 5 centimeters higher up to win the World Cup. So maybe we didn't need Karim in the end. We will never know. I just think, for the player that he is and what he is as a footballer, I just think it's a shame that in a way he finishes like this and that he missed out on the World Cup in the way it happened.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.